Robert Mendez, Cloud Connect 2012 for NetHawk.tv. I'm here this afternoon, on Tuesday afternoon, with Gordon Haff, the Chief Evangelist for Red Hat, and it's really an honor to be here. Thanks very much for joining us today, Gordon.
Thank you, Robert.
Okay, so I have one question I wanted to start off asking. You said that, I guess we've heard for a long time that the term open is worn out, and you've also said that all open is not the same or not equal. So maybe you'd like to sort of unpack that for us a little bit, what you meant by that.
Sure, well, open means a lot of different things, and the fact of the matter is technologies and approaches like open source have just been a huge success in the industry, and they've really become pervasive. So anybody really just wants to share that glow.
Okay.
I think so. Cloud has been this sort of bundle of technologies coming together in the industry, and I think a lot of folks have been sort of trying to get their arms around what it is and probably more importantly what it means for customers. And I think we are, though, getting to the point where, though there's still a lot of action going on here, a lot of change is still going to occur, I think things are sort of shaking out in certain ways. Well, when I talk about an open cloud, let's look at what a typical IT infrastructure looks like today. You basically have a variety of silos made up of legacy applications. And what an open cloud can do, one that supports multiple virtualization technologies, physical servers, public clouds, is really to span that entire spectrum. So give you the management across all those silos, and that really lets you bring all of your IT infrastructure into a cloud management context. And that gives you things like self-service for your developers, policy across all of those silos, a really consistent view into how computing in your organization is done. Well, I think one thing is Red Hat is extremely well known and has been incredibly successful as a supplier of Linux, and more recently our JBoss middleware. But a lot of people just don't know that Red Hat does other things, so I think that's one big challenge. The other is just there is an incredible amount of noise out in the market around cloud computing, and I guess part of my job is to cut through some of that noise so that people know what Red Hat's doing in that area. And I think just the third challenge is this is just a very complex and rapidly changing area. Customers are still trying to figure out how they're going to use cloud, so we have to be very nimble.
And organizationally, do you see organizations keeping up with these opportunities and these challenges?
I think like any other new technology, it's somewhat of a mixed bag. You absolutely have some leading edge companies that are really out there leading the charge. In fact, I think you could argue that cloud computing was in many respects driven by the end users rather than the vendors. But then there are a lot of other companies that are, even at what some might think of as this late date, are still trying to figure out what this means for them. Well, I mean, first of all, I think, as always, you have to define what you mean by the cloud, because the cloud, in the sense of public cloud providers, that's different from enterprise management, which is sort of what I've been talking about here. And I really see the early adopters for that enterprise open cloud as being in many of the same early adopters of Linux. So things like Wall Street, for example. We're also seeing a huge interest in public sector.
And legacy systems, I mean, do you see those folks getting on the bandwagon? Do you see those folks getting in line with your message?
Well, if you kind of talk about legacy systems, there's a lot of different legacy systems out there. Our approach to cloud computing allows us to bring in physical servers, so everything doesn't need to be virtualized. And in terms of kind of older Unix workloads, frankly, an awful lot of those guys have been moving pretty rapidly and standardizing on x86 and Linux over the last few years, and that only accelerated during the most recent downturn.
So this is an exciting time for all sorts of cloud entrepreneurs and all sorts of cloud developers. You're a pretty accomplished guy. What do you see your own personal challenges with going forward? What turns you on, gets you going?
Well, just trying to keep on top of everything that's going out there. As you say, there's just a huge number of companies, just everything changes every month, it seems. And you're kind of on the bucking bronco and just sort of holding on.
Yeah. Well, great. Thanks very much, Gordon Haff with Red Hat. Tune in, nethawk.tv. We're going to have lots more for you.